Hello everyone, George here, and welcome to my implementation of Five Nights at Freddy's inside of Unity, or as we're starting to call it now, A Night at Georgie's. In the last video, we finalized win time so that when we run the game, the win timer will pop up, be generated. Of course, we've got to fix this material problem, and I'll do that first. But then when we actually win the game, it will then shift the UV coordinates of this particular set of triangles so that the 6 pops up on the screen instead. And then, of course, at this point, it's supposed to go, yay! And we've won. Anyway, let's go ahead and fix the material problem first. Let's go in the win time. And what we're going to do is create a reference to that material. We could try to grab this thing using the resources method, but why bother? It's not like it's a dynamic material or something that's going to constantly change. I know what it is, so I might as well just hook it up in my script. Yes, please deal with my inconsistent line endings. All right, so public material, win time. That looks good to me. Material. And then what we want to do is grab this and mesh. Let's do mesh renderer. Mesh renderer dot material is going to be equal to win time, which is our material. We should probably call that material just because there's a lot of win times going around at the moment, and we don't want to get confused. All right. So now when we press play, our material should have been associated properly, and we should be good. Scene, and it wasn't. Because we actually need to populate that in the inspector. There we are. Save, hit run. All right, go to the scene, and there we are. If we say win, ding, ding, ding. There we are, 6 a.m. Yay! And we've won the game. All right, so I'm debating on putting win time under the player's head. So first of all, win time needs to be deactivated right at the beginning. There's no reason for this thing to exist. So let's make sure that we go to our mesh render when we're all finished here. Mesh renderer dot enabled equal to false. And what we're going to want to do is when we decide to change the time, not only do we want to start the coroutine, but we're also going to want to enable the mesh render so something gets rendered on the screen. There we go. Now, let's go to our camera manager and our camera system and find the head attached to the Vive, which is right here. We've got our eyes. Let's just attach it to the head. So let's go to win time, put it right there. There we are. Let's test this thing out. It's way too huge, actually. Hold on. Let's go here to there and then find win time. And let's scale this down to maybe 0.5, 0.5, even that's going to be too big. Let's do 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. We're going to reset the coordinates of this thing. But what I also want to do is make sure we move this down the axis from the player. So we're going to move this forward. Most likely this is also facing the wrong direction. It's very likely that it's 180 degrees off. So now if we do this, what I should be able to do, and let's grab the headset here and make sure my setup is correct. All right, got the headset. I'm going to have to yell now. Headset's on. Let's see, and there's my virtual space. Tracking's a little poor at the moment because, let's just say, I'm not in a very good trackable position at the moment. But, okay, so there's the world. Let's go ahead and activate the, under camera system, the win time. So we just activated it. Do not see it on the screen. Of course I wouldn't see it on the screen. So, stop. So win time was a BS way that we made you win. So if we go over here now, so if we go in here and take a look, win time happens here, in which case we call change time. So change time is up here, but change time should enable the mesh renderer. So let's do that again really quick. Just put the headset someplace, doesn't matter where. Just, come on, find it. Is it finding it? Yes. All right, there's our headset. Let's go ahead and turn on win time and take a look at this thing. Frame up. Frame up, please. And is it facing the wrong way? Yes, so I was completely wrong. This needs to be not 180 degrees at all. So let's save that, try this again. And hit start win time. Did I hit it? I think I did. There's 6 a.m. Way too large. Absolutely enormous. So let's work on that. So I lost the changes I made before. So let's make this 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. Save that. Try this again. Hit run. And take a look. There it is, rolling from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. And it's perfectly tracked. And I'm not minding the fact that it's perfectly tracked. I might put it a little bit further away from me. Yeah, I'm not terribly concerned about that. But that's great. So that's now mounted towards the head. We've got both controllers, right? Where's the other controller? There they are. There's our power still, and there's our time still. Of course, these don't match at the moment, but that's fine. Now let's make it so that we can actually win the game properly. To do that, we're going to stop the game, and we're going to go into our game manager. There she is. Or he, I don't know. Shouldn't have a gender, really. But anyway, let's see, game manager. So what we want to do is we're going to do a check in update, is how I see it. And when we decide to pass the duration time, that is when the game ends. So actually, this kind of thing right here, let's see. Is that the first thing I want to do or the last thing I want to do? It doesn't matter. Let's just do this. So if the, let's see, we have game time is greater than or equal to level duration. What is level duration? Level duration is a floating point value. Game time is also a floating point value calculated. So therefore, what we should be able to do is we're going to want to tell everyone we've won, obviously, or maybe we don't need to tell anyone we've won. There probably are going to be some repercussions. We're going to need to do some sort of maybe a fade out, or possibly stop animatronics or freeze game in case something is happening. But ultimately, we're going to want to turn on that graphic. So we're going to want to get the reference to the let's see, where is it? Win time. So we can grab that script, and then from that, we're going to call the win scenario. So let's go ahead and do that. We could do get component, or we could just get it at start. For now, let's just do get component. It's not going to matter too much. It's not that slow, really. In this, no, not get component. We want to do find object of type win time and dot. We want to then call dot get. No, that's so we get that component, and then once we get it, we're also going to want to call the. This is a crap name for this, really. This makes no sense to call it change time. Let's just call it finish level for the moment, or display clock, 6 a.m. clock. That makes a whole lot more sense when you think about it. And we are going to call that down here as well, and we're going to come back to the game manager and call that function as well. So when we hit this thing, we should be good to go. Technically, we should also, once that happens, turn off the game time continuing to fire off. That is the, let's see, where is it? We should really probably deactivate ourselves. So let's do that. Let's do a this dot, what is it? Enabled is equal to false. And there's other things we're probably going to need to turn off as well, like I said. But for the moment, that should be good enough. And then eventually we'll also put in some sort of level transition, or scene, excuse me, not level. We're not in, so scene transition here. Okay, and let's go ahead, come in here. Now, our game manager has been given the ability to increase the multiplier time. So let's make this 5 minutes, so that it should happen very, very quickly. And let's get ready to try this out. Oh, here comes someone. Who's green? Foxy. Oh boy. Yep, so we're actually getting some real gameplay now. So Foxy is right outside that door. Let's close that door. Of course, right now they don't listen to anything, so that will do absolutely... Oh, crap. I used up all my power? That's not good. Anyway, Foxy is technically in the room at this point, and I would be dead. This is going to be so awesome once I start modeling these characters. This is really going to be awesome. There we go, 5 a.m. I won. That says 5 a.m. though. That's a problem. And it transitions to 6 a.m. So I need to figure out why the controller doesn't go up to that next... Oh, you want to know why? Because the duration is only 5 hours in my game, but I wrote the timer to be for 6 a.m. So, whoops on my part. I'll fix that at some other time. So I'm getting happy. We've got win condition. So I guess in the next few videos we're going to talk about lose conditions, right? And I'm very soon I'm going to have to start diving back into Maya. I'm going to need to create these animatronic characters, and what I might end up doing is kind of going back and forth between the two. You might see for a week I'm modeling the endoskeletons, the interior skeletons. Because I'm probably going to keep a base type skeleton inside of them and then model the individual ones on top of that. And then I'll probably jump back and forth in code as I'm getting some of these characters done. So anyway, not a very long video, but hopefully a good one. Hey, it's really starting to come together. Thanks everyone. See you next time. Goodbye.